Alright, how's it going everybody? I'm Gallon Ostrich as a Captain Goo. How do you doing today? We're here for another Goo for Thought, the series that's the first Sunday of every month. And for February, I decided I'm about to get into doing a couple bigger deal things for the Goo for Thoughts. There might be a tier list on the next one, and then we'll go big, depending on like how everything goes. But this is an episode just to showcase my like setup, how I like just my like quick edits. And I do say quick edits. It'll probably be a little bit longer compared to normal since actually trying to talk about it. But this is kind of my basic like we're doing this, we're going to just the keep it going, just the quantity. Just for if you want to get the quantity out there, this is the deal. So as you can see, this will be what we're going for is episode 17. Well, episode 17's out, but that'll actually end up being episode 18. And I realize I don't have audio on. Um, mm, um, I'm gonna have to. Alright, I'm gonna have to sacrifice something. Okay, so hold on. All right. So now, whenever I do that, you should be able to hear what I'm hearing as I edit. So now we're going to get everything in, and I was actually already actually recorded one earlier, and you couldn't see the screen. So I was thinking, what's the point in that? We'll do something different here. So all right. And you can see that we have you can see like a somewhat right these small little things, but you can see they're highlighted. I can come over here and we'll just okay, so these things. One thing I like to do, this is like this is our audio stuff, like the extra sound effects put in. So I want to first go ahead and clear off everything there. And then I will go ahead and showcase. We have two audio tracks that I keep on the back burner. One's for the desk, one's for captures. Two things that happen a lot, so that's kind of that's one of my like go-to things I make sure I have. And now, though, we get to the very beginning, and you can see that we have this set up. It's just a pretty obvious early, like, just get it going. But afterwards, I have a full screen here, and I would actually like to have it not be full screen. So, what I do now is we'll highlight that, and I'm gonna go ahead and fix the uniform scale. And one thing I want to make sure I have before I do anything else is I want to put all our positioning at 0. This is just like a better like numbers thing for me. 0, 0, 0, like if you're at 0, 0, it's the top left. So it's anchored towards the top left. So I don't know exactly what it would be, but you see how we're moving on over. Okay, so it is our regular 1920, and then we can go back and we'll click 0 there, and then 1080. So 1080 means it's going to be like that's your vertical. Like the 1920 is your horizontal. That's your basic like screen width. So there's that. So now what I want to do now that we're here, I'm going to hit our positioning. Like I want to get my keyframes, get my keyframes lit up here. And you can see I have a little yellow arrow. So I'll go on over here and something will pop up right around here, right there. And that'll, like, this shows me that this is the point that I've marked in all these past ones. Like in all of the different like past videos, this is where I have the keyframe set. And I also like biggest thing for editing, keep your notes. If you're doing more, if you're going to do one big video, you of course want to look through like all your different bins, all your different files you have. You want to check and make sure. Like if this was me editing a big video together, I'd be clicking here and I'd be scrolling through trying to figure out stuff. I'd go through here, figure out what I like, but that's not the case for this. This is like I'm able to get these done in one recording by on purpose. By on purpose. Yeah, what a great way to say that, but there. But what I was saying is I have notes. I have notes for what I want to edit, but I also have notes for what my different metrics are. And for this, I have my positioning as a 13 there and a 13.5. That will fill up this little box I have that I can click that away and you can see the layout. Like this is a very basic layout. I've made most of my layouts on OBS. I don't have Photoshop. I believe if you have Photoshop, you can make better layouts. If you have, like, you can make a lot better layouts other places, but OBS has allowed me to really get some ideas on layouts through for the whole time of doing YouTube now. So I'm going to click the video back on here. And we're going to make sure we get our scaled height, which is at 73, and we have 98.8. And if you see, like what I like to do is I like to have just the slightest of borders. Like you can see there's like just a slight border. You should, like, if you've watched any of the videos, you can see that I like to have a slight border for the game screen. But that's kind of our first basic one, which this is what gets you.
How do you do?
It's just a way to transition. I like being able to have like a title on the startup, and then have it transition to the actual game layout. And now I don't have it on my notes, but I'm gonna hope I did a little team recap. Okay. Okay, yep. I was able to actually get my team, because in the last episode I had a secondary team, I had a B team per se, that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of them so we can make sure we have our team that's going on. I could have the team changed for, I could have had the team that I ended with at the start, but we're getting into this like minute 45. I don't like in a 41-minute video. I think we're perfectly fine to be doing it like this. And unfortunately, you all are going to get to hear. You're going to get to see the death we have, and this was a death I wasn't proud of, but you'll have to. Well, I mean, I say you'll have to see it, but you'll get spoiled on it. As you can see, our Inteleon dies. And what I'm doing here is I'm just scrubbing back. I'm scrubbing on back. And here we go. We got hit. Alright. So, what is it that I got hit by? And yes, you do hear this noise. That's like I normally have Spotify in, but I can't have my music playing and capturing the desktop sounds, so we're both on this mode here. Alright, but what I like to go for is I like the moment of impact. Like we'll say we'll go right here. And with that, I can go on, and I know this is our death sound, so hopefully I can get that done up good, I'll copy it here and I can paste it. Pasting it will put it right on the timeline, and it also allows me to go back to that moment, which is actually a big deal. So it just adds like a little bit something else in the background, a little bit of bleach. If you all haven't gotten that reference before and you've watched the videos and seen me get killed, but at this point we hit 0. I'm going to zoom in, and I want to just use this little tool here. This is your razor tool. It's your cut. And what we need to do is we need to change our deaths here. We need to change that to 5. And I also need to go here to Intellion, and since the razor split it in 2, I can go here and I can just delete that part of it, because Intellion will be nowhere to be seen for the rest of the videos. And something that's also important to note, if I could do a dip to black here, which just wouldn't look right. As you can see, like, you get a little bit of a fade, but I'm not too big on that. If I wanted to do a dip to black, that's normally going to be for like a scene change, or if like I get interrupted. And a little interesting thing is, if you do decide to go with a dip to black, you want to do it from the start, from the top one. Like, you want to do it from the highest layer. If you don't do it from the highest layer, then you'll get something like, I mean, I think you already seen it, but we can split it here, and I'll just take the dip to black, and let's get rid of that for right now and go here. And if you can see, the death stays, so it's not reading like it'll enact the effect, but it'll only do it'll only go, like, it'll affect everything down. It won't affect everything up. But what I like to do is I like to do a film dissolve here, and this doesn't affect the entirety, but this does allow a little bit of a change to be done on your death counter. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to that because it's a good way to scrub that way. And I'm going to put another film dissolve there. And sometimes I might be like, okay, that fades a little bit too fast. And if it were to fade too fast, I can just go here and I can move it back some. So that means that, I mean, it's pretty similar, but sometimes you do things and you catch your eye. So just a little heads up. And that's really, that is that for this moment. But we do have a gym badge to be got. And my notes are very vague on this, as it says 20 minutes-ish. And sometimes I'll write ish because I don't know. And we can play this out. Actually, speed up, like, move around, and I've got to kind of there's a rhythm where I like to have, I do like to have things on certain frames. And for me, I like to have, this is the rock, and yes, I make sure to label. You get the gym badges. This was the gym. Okay, the gym badge circle was was really difficult. I'm not. I didn't want to. I didn't know how to do that. It was getting really irritating. Spent like a good 15 minutes, and I was like, okay, I'm going to. You either quit and accept it, or you be a perfectionist and always hate it. There's a little bit of a idea. And what we're going to do is I want to make sure we get to a point. When it starts to move here, I'm going to hit another keyframe, and we're going to move it to 100. So what that does is it will, okay, we can actually go there by using these arrows. So we're at the start of it, And I'm going to just pull this down and look right here. Look right in this area.
Um,
And you can see that it's getting a
now,
little bit more visible with
you can
time.
now catch Pokemon
That's
level
the
up to level
opacity, kind of
50.
my
Don't worry about me.
idea set going forward with for the gym layouts and stuff. And now we have another thing to be going for, and that is the addition of someone to our squad. And these are very interesting. As you can see, we have it being a double right here. And I'm going to go on the on the frame before everything fades away. As and that's just kind of a way to be able to show the confirmation that this is what we're going with, and having it show up and fade in gives you the full confirmation. That is kind of my thought process here. So I'm going to take double though, and we can throw it on here, and just for the sake of everything, I can go ahead and I can just expand it with and have it meet up with everybody. I'm also going to fade it in because to me, like, the film dissolve is your friend for effects. You can do the opacity and you can make it like you can have it be your baby. Like it can be as meaningful as you want. Opacity is your friend. But there are some times where it's just like, is this really worth trying to go over that much?
we're going to.
Whenever it's showcasing that, no, 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 no. But what we do want to make sure we do is we want to get double as much in the box as we can and get it as visible as we can or as prominent. And honestly, like right there is pretty good. But I'm going to go ahead and up it to 68. And I mean, whenever you can, like, I want to make sure I can fill up one side, like going horizontal or vertically at least. Now, if you see the Berserker, the Nine Tails Claydol, they look really good. But then you have things like Dusclops, where it has that little bit of extra stuff going off of it, and that really just to me it. I don't want it to overlap, and I'm actually going to keep it there at 70. But I can go ahead and let's look at our Dusclops. And 59, I'll make it to 62. And you see, we have just that teensy bit, which I mean, and then it's like the more you try and just perfect it, the more you just get like, oh no. So let's just 935. All right. 930. As you can see, I've done some stupid stuff as I was moving us up and down, left to right. So actually, we want to go 1272. I think that's actually what it just was at 1270. And you know what? We're going to just try and make a little bit of a movement here. And if you do, like, it really gets to boundaries. But I think we actually were able to make it look a little bit better this time. So now we're going to go through and we also, this is a huge friend of yours, being able to go here. This is also why keeping notes is great, because I do pause and I know that's probably not the best. So I think it might be better to not pause and do everything like that. But I kind of feel pretty good about. I mean, you get the pause, and then okay, we got another death here, so sad. All right, I like it right there. Here's the beauty of this. I can do this. I can expand it, and then I can pull that. I can pull that. Absolutely phenomenal. And whenever you get, sometimes whenever, like if I've had 2 or 3 deaths and I actually get a capture, like I'll either go to the capture and then get that in, or I'll go to the deaths and I'll make sure I get each of my deaths, because I can just go copy paste, get the audio where I want it. Now I wish you were able to see the like catching one, because catching's a lot better of a feeling than watching your stuff die. And this is as just small as it can get, so I feel really comfortable, really confident in that. And having like the deaths or having like things with words on it, I have found that this essential graphic tab is really helpful, actually, just for the sake of being able to do this. Now I hate whenever you get anything that's not the effect controls on that. Like that part's really obnoxious, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that. We can go ahead and get rid of Claydol, and we'll film dissolve. And that should be good. And I mean, ooh-wee, if you want to talk about fun, I guess there was a point where I could have showed y'all I could have showed y'all like the health boxes whenever I was keeping track of health. That was a fun one. But also, let's go back to the Claydol death. All right. Well, I can just click on this right here again. But now it's like my notes are over with, so that's it. So you've seen me use this. Best part about this, you just scroll to the end, and now I was taught back in high school to always end on a fade to black. And I don't know if I don't really know if it's that important, but that's one of the few things that I've really kept with me from my teacher back in high school. So, what are we going to do? We're going to go over here and we're going to dip to black. And then I can go on here, and first things first, we want to go back to it being very small, and we're
Captain GOO, peace out.
all right. So from here we have the end of the audio. I want to half where we're at now. I want to half our audio, and I want to go ahead and we're going to push that back. And I just don't want to hold on the black for too long. So
Captain GOO, peace out.
Which I think that could still be like holding on just like maybe like a second too long. Like maybe just a second too long. So we're going to actually cut it back to that. I'm going to push it back here. And yes, that's been my best way of keeping everything.
Captain GOO, peace out.
Right. Okay. So there we have it. That's pretty much the basics to how I edit. That is kind of my like very, very simple way. I want to address one thing with like just the continuous lines, because I've seen a lot of people who have it very choppy. Like like you know what I'm talking about, the people who are like who have that and it's everywhere. And like like you all know what I'm talking about if you've ever seen any kind of editing. And I think it looks very pleasing. And if there are some things I'm doing wrong, I would be glad to hear that and take some kind of teaching from that. As much as I can like help you all, it'd be amazing if y'all could help me as well. But one of the things I learned through college with editing is there's rules you follow, but one of the other rules is like there are no rules pretty much. So you all can do however you want. And I do want to mention this. You all see how I have the timeline titled this. It actually makes it easier to export. And we can go ahead and export. I don't think there's any information that's going to be given on this. There is not. So, but yeah, you can see up here. I'll go that, and I'll hit episode. I'll just fill in episode 18 now. You can see I have my location on my hard drive where it's going. I do. I just have it set in the preset of high quality 1080p. They Premiere's pretty much got it to where it works pretty good for YouTube. So H.264. I mean, I'm not the most. I'm not gonna ever claim to be the most knowledgeable on this, but I've found a lot of enjoyment in editing, and I figured we could make this. We can make this an episode for Good for Thought. But yeah, to finish up some ideas, you can see estimated time remaining is 30 some minutes. So that will go down. If you do this on a laptop, make sure you plug in your laptop. It does make this part go by faster. I mean, just being like charting your laptop makes everything go smoother. But one other thing. Well, I mean, I guess there's a couple other things. But going back to there is no rules when it comes to this. It is. I mean, it's in its way, it's art. It's like it's all up to the creator, and I would like to learn how to do like all or like I would like to be able to make the projects where it's like looks all that chopped up and really fine, but in something like this, if you are getting started, just know there's not a reason to really feel that like gung ho one. I have to make it look amazing. Now, one thing I will say is I do feel a little bit. I do get a little bit down on myself because I feel like I could do more, and so I don't know how. Like, I guess showcasing this might not be the best since I will say it's not my proudest work to be able to just go and do. But I will say I do love the fact that I can just go and edit. It's a very simple. I can just get in, get it done. This is really the worst part is the export. But again, there's so many just different things, and I wanted to be able to do this just to showcase that if you are thinking about doing a YouTube channel, if you are like if you want to play Pokemon, if you want to do something else and you stumble across this, just know that it is perfectly fine to not have everything look the prettiest. I want to strive to make my stuff look better, but I also want to be able to have some kind of long form content that is a very easy, enjoyable like factor, and being able to not have to make too many edits, being able to just kind of have a little bit of a showcase like this. I think it's perfectly fine. I mean, for me growing up, this was kind of the way I would watch it. So, I mean, I know, get with the times, whatever. But, um, you're either going to be, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So, I'm wanting to really be able to pick up on trying to improve in the commentary, be able to pick up on just like the content creator, like I guess more the entertainer side of being able to do YouTube. And sometimes like I mean sometimes like you can be down on yourself and it's like, you know what, it is great to have the like simple layout, simple update. So there's that. I hope this helps somebody out there. And I mean, hey, if there's anything you can share with me, that would be amazing. I I didn't want this to be like a true like tutorial. I just wanted this to be kind of a like very basic. I mean, if there is a question, if you want me to do a tutorial, then I would be. I mean, it'd be amazing. I would just like to have. I mean, leave a comment down below. If not, uh, maybe someone gets something out of this and we never watch me edit again. But that'll be it for today's episode of GOO for Thought. And be on the lookout for the next couple months. Like I said, we might have a couple, like we might end up with a tier list next month. There might be a couple tier lists scattered throughout, but I've got some ideas up the sleeve, so I'm pretty excited. But as always, I'm Gowan Ostrich. That's the Capital GOO, and until next time, peace out.